Hi there and welcome to this 165th Tech Q&A session where I'll be answering some of your tech related questions. And this Tech Q&A is powered by Lenovo UK. And I've been picking up a lot of questions from the YouTube community page and also via Twitter. So I've got a bunch of very interesting questions. So let's start taking them up. And the first question that I got was from Stephen, and this is a camera related question. He asked, does a larger pixel area guarantee better pictures, or is it all about the megapixel? I'm asking this because I've heard that the Redmi Note 4 has a larger pixel area on its camera compared to the Redmi Note 3. Yes, Stephen, you are actually right. The Redmi Note 4 has a larger pixel area compared to the Redmi Note 3. And why having a larger pixel area is beneficial is simple. Fact is that if a pixel is larger in size, it lets in a lot more light to the sensor, and that is the reason the Redmi Note 4 performs a lot better in artificial and low lighting conditions compared to the Redmi Note 3. In fact, just a couple of days ago I posted the Redmi Note 4 FAQ video where actually I compared even the camera performance, and clearly the Redmi Note 4 was performing much better because it has a better sensor, and that pixel are almost 25% bigger compared to the Redmi Note 3. So I hope that helps you. The next question is, this is from Tech Dunya. He's asking best earphones or headphones with in-ear microphone for around rupees 1500 rupees. Tech Dunya, I would say in this price point, you can check out the Xiaomi Redmi Mi In-Ear Pro. I think so they were for 1400 rupees. The sound output from those earphones was very good, and also it had an in-ear microphone. In fact, you can check out my channel. Last year sometime I reviewed it. So I feel that's a good one. Build quality is good. The sound quality from the earphones is good, and it has that inline microphone. This is by Aman. He's asking, Lenovo P2 looks like having an advantage over the Redmi Note 4. So please, will you compare the Snapdragon 625 and its gaming? Which is the best? I mean, both the Redmi Note 4 and the Lenovo P2, which I reviewed just last week, are running on the Snapdragon 625 chipset. So in terms of day-to-day performance, I did not find a lot of difference. In fact, both of them did actually very similar in gaming, almost the same in gaming. So in terms of gaming, I would say you'll find a lot of differences. Where I would say that you'll find the differences in the display quality. The Lenovo P2 is having that AMOLED screen, so the display is slightly better. But again, even the Redmi Note 4 has a very good 1080p screen. Another area where the Lenovo P2 will go ahead because it's having a bigger battery is in terms of battery life. Both the Redmi Note 4 and even the Lenovo P2 have a great, fabulous battery life. But in terms of pure battery life, the Lenovo P2 will get a better battery life. I would say anywhere between 3 hours to about 4 hours of extra screen on time, because it's having a 1000 milliamp hour bigger battery. So again, both of them in day-to-day performance, I would say both are very similar. RAM management is slightly better on the Lenovo P2. Again, I compared the 4GB RAM models for both the variants. But again, if we talk about price to performance ratio, the Redmi Note 4 will definitely go ahead because of that very aggressive pricing what Xiaomi has done. But again, if you want pure the highest battery life, then the Lenovo P2 might go ahead for you. So again, you have to decide based on your priorities. This is by Mr. Gupta. He's asking, sir, I wanted to gift my grandfather a smartphone. Should I buy the Redmi 3S for rupees 7,000 or the Moto E3 at rupees 8,000? He will be using the smartphone for the first time, not a heavy user. Gupta, I would say the Moto E3 Power is not a very powerful phone. It's using a very outdated MediaTek chipset. Hence, even in normal operations, many times I notice lagginess on that phone. Whereas with the Redmi 3S, I didn't face any lagging issues or anything like that because it's running on the Snapdragon 430 chipset, which is way more powerful compared to the chip that was used on the Moto E3 Power. But one area where the Moto E3 Power goes ahead again is in terms of battery life. Again, the Redmi 3S also gets very good battery life, but in pure battery life, the E3 Power goes ahead. And I feel in terms of build quality, slightly the Moto E3 Power has slightly better build quality with the Redmi 3S. But in terms of pure performance, the Redmi 3S will go ahead. Again, if you're going for the Redmi 3S, just buy a case for that and put a case and give it to your grandfather. That would be the best option in my frank opinion. This is by Sohail. He's asking, for me, battery, camera and audio are all important, but there are different proportions in different categories. He says, but I want to know which is overall good buy between the Lenovo P2, Honor 6X and the Vibe X3. Again, Sohel, all these handsets excel in very different areas. You won't get any handset in this one that excels in all the aspects. I would say first, if camera is your highest priority, then obviously the Honor 6X does the best. But again, that's for static pictures. In video, because it does not have any optical image stabilization or even electronic image stabilization, the video performance was not good on the Honor 6X. Vibe X3, I would say if sound is your highest criteria, the Vibe X3 excels because it's having a dedicated audio chip, that's the Sabertooth chipset, and the audio performance is fabulous on that. Whereas the Lenovo P2, I would say excels in terms of battery. Again, the Vibe X3 has a camera. I would say it's very, very weak on the Vibe X3. So weakest camera among these three. Lenovo P2, I would say excels in battery life. But again, the camera, the Honor 6X will easily beat its camera performance. So you have to decide what's your priority and go for it. Because I've told you, all these three different handsets excel in very different categories. This is by Rahul. He is asking, he says, everyone says battery saving and junk cleaning apps are harmful to the phone, but phones come with preloaded apps like Clean Master. So do you think manufacturers itself are recommending these harmful apps? Okay, let me tell you this industry secret, and many people will hate me who are in the smartphone industry. Actually, these smartphone manufacturers get paid to bundle these junk apps on their phones. These days we have seen with many of the budget oriented phones, their price is very aggressive, so the profit margins are very less on these phones. But if they bundle these junk apps in them, they get paid for every phone. I don't know what's the payout, but they get paid for installing this junk apps on the phone. So it's a way to recover the cost. So you can safely delete these apps, and again, these junk apps actually hamper the performance of your phone. So it's just a way for these manufacturers to get a little bit more profit. This is by Ashish. He's asking, sir, please suggest me a smartphone under the budget range of about 11,000 rupees. As of now, I would say, Ashish, the Redmi Note 4 looks the best option for 11,000 rupees. I was actually very surprised when they announced the pricing of the Redmi Note 4. I didn't actually, frankly felt that they would price it this aggressively. So again, for that price of 11,000, I think so for 11,000 rupees, you can get the 3GB RAM model of the Redmi Note 4. Go with that one, I would say. This is by Chetan. He is asking, JBL T150 is selling for rupees 549. He says on Flipkart, and reviews and comments are mixed. How do I know it's the original product or not? Chetan, I purchased the JBL T150 from Amazon, and they are still working fine. I would say the very good pair of headphones with the inline microphone. Again, I've already posted my review. One of the best, I would say, in the very budget oriented category. I would say go with Amazon, and on Amazon, I would say go with the seller that says Amazon fulfilled. If you have that Amazon fulfilled, and if you get a fake product or something, you can just return it. So I would prefer Amazon, buying it from Amazon, and just check if it's Amazon fulfilled. I hope that helps. This is by Biswas. He's asking, currently the mid-range competitors are Lenovo and Xiaomi. Why do you think Lenovo has been pricing its phone a bit expensive but not providing all the things such as storage? And why Xiaomi has priced its new smartphone so aggressively, giving everything cheaper? Your thoughts? Again, Biswas, as I've told you, the Redmi Note 4 was priced very aggressively, and I didn't expect that they would price it this aggressively. And again, if you have been following me, last year, sometime in November, I had posted a video that end of party for the budget smartphones, because many of the vendors are now actually increasing the prices because the profit margins were very low, and they were fighting among themselves and giving the phones at very low cost. And that's the reason you see many of the vendors now have started raising their prices, and Lenovo has also started doing that. So I don't expect Lenovo to again compete very well in the low price band. And it was very strange that Xiaomi has launched the Redmi Note 4 for such an aggressive price point. Again, as I've told you earlier also, I wasn't expecting that the Redmi Note 4 would be priced this aggressively. I was actually thinking that the base variant that comes with 2 gigabytes of RAM would be priced at 12,000. The 3 gigabyte RAM model might be priced at about 13,000, and the 4 gigabyte RAM model that comes with 64 gigabytes of storage might be priced at 15,000. So I was also very surprised that Xiaomi launched it at such an aggressive price in India. But I don't think so other vendors are going to follow that, because the profit margins are becoming tighter and tighter in the market. This is by Shrikant. He's asking he's asking about the new MacBook Pro 2016. He's asking, is it worth paying that price? Please suggest. My priorities are like video editing and watching movies. And again, I've got similar questions also. Will I be upgrading to the new MacBook Pro 2016? I have given up on upgrading to the new MacBook Pro 2016 because I also feel the pricing is actually very high, and I've seen a lot of reviews and stuff, and many of the reviewers that I trust have mentioned that in terms of raw performance, the performance hasn't increased that much compared to the earlier generation of the MacBook Pro 15 inches. So I won't be upgrading to this one. In fact, there are very strong leaks that again this year in 2017 we are going to get revamped MacBook Pros, which will be more powerful, and they will come with 32 gigabytes of RAM. Currently the MacBook Pro 15 inches still max out at 16 gigabytes. So certainly very expensive, I would say, as of now. I would say if you want to save a lot of money, just go with the last generation, the 2015 model you can go, and that is still a very good one. For example, currently the MacBook Pro that I'm using is the 2015 edition, and it's been working perfectly fine. So I'll be waiting to see if Apple launches the updated versions in 2017 with 32 gigabytes of RAM, and maybe I'll upgrade to that one. But this generation, I'm just going to skip it. And before we actually proceed, here is a jargon buster that Lenovo has for us for this week. And they wanted me to talk about dual pixel autofocus. Again, in smartphones, you see cameras have autofocus technology like laser autofocus systems and PDAF and stuff, that is face detect autofocus. But again, if you have noticed the Galaxy S7 and the S7 Edge, they employ something very new known as this dual pixel autofocusing system. And again, if you have used those devices, you would have noticed that the autofocusing system is actually very fast on the Galaxy S7 and the S7 Edge, even though they don't have they don't employ laser autofocusing system. And the thing is that this dual pixel autofocusing system is nothing but a modified, I would say, a version 2 or plus version of the face detect autofocusing system. Generally, many of these smartphones today also employs PDAF. You might have seen an autofocus system that's known as face detect autofocusing system, and face detect is actually very fast in focusing. But the problem with the face detect autofocusing system in normal smartphones and even cameras is that for face detect autofocusing system, the pixels, they need special type of pixels, and generally on a smartphone these are only just about 5% of the pixels of the sensor are face detect autofocusing type. But what Samsung has done with the Samsung Galaxy S7 and the S7 Edge is that the sensor and the pixels that they have are these dual pixel autofocusing pixels, and 100% of their pixels can employ face detect autofocusing system. Hence, that's the case. The Galaxy S7 and the S7 Edge are lightning fast in autofocusing system, even in video and stuff like that. That's what Samsung has done, and it's a very interesting technology. And I haven't seen a lot of other vendors employing this dual pixel autofocus technology, but I hope to see that in 2017 because that's a huge leap up over the regular PDAF that many of the smartphones are currently using. And in fact, I would say this dual pixel autofocus system is also used in many of the advanced DSLRs. For example, currently I'm using, this is the Canon 80D and the 70D. They also have dual pixel autofocusing system, and I don't remember how much their Canon has. I think so it's about 75% of the pixels are dual pixel. And I don't have a cameraman right now. I'll move up to the close-up, and even if you see I'm just moving around here and there, it's accurately tracking my face, even though I don't have a cameraman because of the dual pixel autofocusing system. So I hope hope many other vendors also in 2017, at least in the flagships, start employing this dual pixel autofocusing system. Okay, let's move back to the questions now. And this is a question that I got from Rutvik. He's asking, is the Snapdragon 835 going to be a good processor like the Snapdragon 820, or will it suffer like the 810 because of its octa-core processor? I think so. You're implying heating issues and stuff. Rutvik, I have already posted a dedicated video regarding the Snapdragon 835. Yes, the Snapdragon 835 will be an octa-core processor, and I don't think so. It should have a lot of heating issues because they are moving to the 10 nanometer manufacturing process. If I recall, the Snapdragon 810 was on 20 nanometer architecture, and this 10 nanometer architecture is way more efficient. So I'm hoping it won't have any heating issues that plague the Snapdragon 810. But again, there is one little worry because LG just last 2 weeks they announced that they're going to come out with a new flagship, and probably they'll be using the Snapdragon 835, and they're going to have heat pipes. So I'm worried, why does it need heat pipes? So I'm just also keeping fingers crossed. But again, as it's moving from it's moving to the 10 nanometer manufacturing process, naturally the amount of power that it requires and the amount of heat generated should be a lot less. So it should technically not heat, but again, we can only speculate, and we'll know when the devices with the Snapdragon 835 chipset come out. We'll know if it heats up. But again, I'm assuming it won't heat up that much because Qualcomm got a very bad rap because of the Snapdragon 810 and the 808. They were heating up that much, and I don't think so they'll make that mistake again. But let's see. Anyways, let's move to the next one. This is from Pushkar. He's asking, I'm using the Lenovo P1 Turbo. Should I upgrade to the Lenovo P2? Pushkar, I would say I'll just give you a brief idea. What are the advantages that you might see if you move from the Lenovo P1 to the P2? I would say in terms of screen quality, now the P2 has the Super AMOLED screen. So the screen quality has improved a lot. Also, the fingerprint sensor is very responsive on the P2. Another thing that I have noticed is that, because I have also used the P1 earlier, is the weight distribution is a lot better on the P2. It does not feel very heavy like the P1. And again, in terms of battery life also, I would say you will notice about 20% better battery life on the Lenovo P2. So these are the big differences that you will notice. So again, it's up to you. And yeah, the camera, I'm forgetting. The camera has actually improved a lot compared to the P1. The P1's camera was strictly rubbish, but this P2 has improved a lot. But again, the P2's camera is not extraordinary, but again, I would say it is much better compared to the P1. So it comes down to your requirements. If you think these advantages, what I've told you, improvements do make a lot of sense, then you can upgrade. Otherwise, if you're happy with the P1, I would say stick with the P1. And also, another thing I forgot, the P2, because of the Snapdragon 625 chipset, heats up a lot less compared to the Lenovo P1. Anyways, let's move to the next one. This is by Pratik. He's asking why most companies are using the Snapdragon 625 these days. Yes, we are seeing a lot of mid-range phones coming with the Snapdragon 625 chipset. The reason for that is it's using the 14 nanometer architecture, which actually as of now only the Snapdragon 820 uses. So it's a much more efficient process, and you get better battery life and very less heating with the Snapdragon 625 based chipsets. And also, Qualcomm is sort of discounting they are not for new vendors and stuff. They are pushing it to the 625. They are not pushing the 650 and the 652. In fact, the Snapdragon 626 is supposed to come out very soon. And also on the higher end, there is the Snapdragon 660 that is expected to come out. That will be the replacement for the more powerful 652. It'll be the replacement for the 653. So yeah, that's the reason we are seeing a lot of these vendors jumping to the 625 because of the great battery life that you'll get with the 625, almost no heating issues. And if you are having a smartphone with up to 1080p screen, it's able to handle everything fine. But again, the next big jump will be the Snapdragon 660, and it should come out in the next couple of months. Qualcomm has been very silent about the Snapdragon 660. But from internal sources, I've heard that it should come out in the next couple of months. Let's move to the next one. This is by Mathur. He's asking, my question is, can we import a drone from another country? Mathur, the thing is that in India, drones are sort of banned. And even if you import, they might get stuck at customs. I've heard a lot of horror stories from people that customs are just not allowing it. So if I were you, I wouldn't import a drone, I would say. This is by Rajat. He's asking why people buy the Galaxy J2 whereas they can buy the Redmi 3S, which is far better device. Rajat, one thing, advertising and Samsung's marketing. The Samsung has so much money and they push it behind marketing that many people fall for that. That's the reason that the Samsung Galaxy J2 sold a lot, but still I would say it was one of the most rubbish handsets that I tested in 2016. This is by Narendra. A big question. How's the OnePlus 3 stand against some of the mid-range? He's asked. I'm planning to buy the OnePlus 3T. Is it worth? Generally, I don't spend more than 20 to 25,000, but was thinking for the OnePlus. Let me know, should I buy it or is there any other mid-range phone which is comparable? My priorities are performance, battery, camera. I would say the OnePlus 3T is a very good handset, and currently I would say in that price band of around 30,000, the OnePlus 3T would be my pick. So again, you can safely go with the OnePlus 3T. It's a fabulous handset, I would say. But again, if you can't compare it with some of the mid-range smartphones in terms of battery life. In terms of battery life, the Redmi Note 4 will give you better battery life. The Lenovo P2 would give you battery life. But again, as you have mentioned, overall performance, camera and stuff. And for that price, I would say the OnePlus 3T would be my bet. Overall picture. In camera, I would say the Honor 8X would give you better camera performance, but again in other aspects the Honor 8X falls down. So in the price band of about 30,000, the OnePlus 3T overall would be my pick. Hope it helps. This is by Android Boy. He's asking, please explain what is Sigma lens. Is it just a company or a type of lens like a prime lens? Sigma is a company that makes lenses for Canon, Nikon and others. For example, the footage that you're seeing right now, this is mounted on my Canon 80D. It's a Sigma 17 to 50 f2.8 lens. So they make lenses for Canon, Nikon and others, and they make a lot of, for example, the current lens that I'm using is a zoom lens, but they also make primes and stuff. So it's a company that makes third-party lenses like there's another one that's known as Tamron and stuff. This is by Pranjit. He's asking, Xiaomi is very aggressive about pricing, but what is it about its after sales service? Pranjit, the thing with Xiaomi is that and I have complained this to Xiaomi also, officials also. Xiaomi in their brochures and stuff publicize that they have 800 service centers, 900 service centers. But the thing is that these are sort of outsourced service centers. In reality, if you want good service from Xiaomi, you have to only go to their authorized, their own service centers. And those are not that many. I don't have the exact number, but last year somebody told me it was around 70 odd service center. So if you live in a big city, you are sort of covered. And I would say just go to these their own service centers, because if you go to those third-party service centers, then the service is sort of pathetic. They will actually abuse you and stuff like that. They're so bad, they don't have spares and stuff. And another thing that I've noticed with Xiaomi devices is that sometimes for the spares, it can take time, about 2-3 weeks. So that's one thing. For example, about 1 year ago, one of my cousins had a Xiaomi phone and the display was cracked. Here in Hyderabad, they went to their Xiaomi's own authorized service center and it was fixed within 5 days. So to answer that question, I would say it depends from which city you are. If you're in a big city and Xiaomi has their own service centers, then you are sort of covered. But if you go to third-party service centers, then the service won't be that good. And also expect a delay. Sometimes I've noticed from users complaining, sometimes they don't have spare parts and you have to wait about 2 odd weeks or something like that. So let's move to this question, and this is from Siddharth. This will be the last question. He's asking, using a Redmi Note 3, what's the logical upgrade path? Budget around 30,000. Love a good camera. Siddharth, I would say, again, as I've mentioned earlier also, in the price point of about 30,000 rupees, my pick as of now would be the OnePlus 3T. That's the best option overall. Great performance, good enough battery life, and the camera is also decent. But if the camera is your highest priority, the Honor 8X has a better camera compared to the OnePlus 3T. But again, the Honor 8X falls short in a lot of other departments. It doesn't have voltage support and a lot of other things. Just watch my in-depth review for the Honor 8. So again, I would pick the OnePlus 3T at the price point of about 30,000. So guys, these were the questions that I had for this 165th Tech Q&A session. I hope you found this Tech Q&A session helpful. And if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Again, thanks for watching this video. Hope to see you very soon. Thank you guys. See you later.